All right, guys, time to fess up. We're obsessive. How many times have you guys sat around with your buddies and tried to determine who would win in a fight, Laverne or Shirley? Or how about the time you got caught betting on your little sister's dance recital? But you know what really sends us over the edge? Sports. I once staged a fantasy doubleheader between the 1918 Red Sox and the 2004 Red Sox. By the way, the Sox won.
Okay, what do you think? Best game won ever?
Are you kidding, man? 1955, man. Brooklyn's only World Series title game. That thing started off with a bang.
Nowhere near as suspenseful as 1988 Oakland A's versus the Dodgers.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
You know what a favorite game me and my friends love to play is? What if? What if Randy Johnson were only 2 feet tall? What if drinking beer made you smarter? It's a fun game. Try it for yourself.
What if Bobby Thompson had swung the bat a split second later?
Dodgers would have won the pennant. The Dodgers would have won the pennant.
Would they still call it the shot heard round the world?
Well,
as long as we're talking what ifs, let's cut to the chase. Bill Buckner, 86.
It is a fair ball. It's by Buckner.
What if he would have fielded the ball? Would that have ended the curse of the Bambino? And what if they hadn't invented baseball? What would our national pastime be?
That's easy.
Okay, eyes back on me. Things are about to get hectic, but it just goes to prove we're obsessed. Obsessed with tight skirts, fast cars, and double cheeseburgers. Sports and more sports. We'll do anything to impress some broad. Not that it ever works.
I'm talking all-time series MVP.
That's simple. Don Larson. See, he pitched a perfect game for the Yankees in 1957.
Here comes the pitch. Strike three. A no-hitter. A perfect game for Don Larson.
Yeah, but what about Reggie Jackson in '77?
That's going to be gone. Reggie Jackson is in his third home run of the game.
Home runs in the 4th, 5th, and 7th inning? That's what you call unbelievable.
Actually, it was the 4th, 5th, and 8th innings. And Larson's perfect game was in 1956, not 57. One hell of a show.
Steve Reich! This is baseball. This is the time of year when it's okay to get a little nutty. Hey, what are we waiting for? This is the World Series 2006. History is about to be made and we're living it. So as the man says, play ball!
Jerry Stiller for taking the time, and time is in excess in this city of late. It has been 7 days since it celebrated an American League pennant with the Detroit Tigers, and in reality, baseball in this city is going on a couple decades rest. Nothing the St. Louis Cardinals can possibly relate to. This is their 2nd World Series in 3 years. Of course, they only made their travel plans 48 hours ago. What a postseason. What a journey. Worth the travel to sports' grandest stage as we welcome you to Game 1 of the World Series. 51 degrees. I'm Jeannie Zelasco, joined again by Kevin Kennedy.
Hi, Jeannie.
And, of course, the Desert Boy, who's out here shaking. Come on, my man. It's not so bad.
Jeannie, Kevin, I always expected to go to a World Series, but let's just say I didn't expect to be here with you guys.
Well, we need to get you here, I guess. All right, the Tigers and Cardinals, they've done this before twice, 1934, 1968, both 7-game series. This should be fun.
Well, the irony of it is, Jeannie, if you believe in stats only, you've missed the boat because these two teams have the worst record in Major League Baseball the last 50 games. The Tigers, number 1, the Cardinals, number 2. But you know what? The Tigers earned the right to be here by playing 700 ball for 4 months. So what? They faltered a little bit, ended up winning the wild card. They played well in the postseason when they have to. The St. Louis Cardinals, the same exact thing. They got healthy at the right time. And let's face it, their game plan pitching against the Mets, they executed well.
Kevin, let me tell you something. This atmosphere here in Detroit is like nothing I've ever seen. They start partying when they beat the Yankees, and they have not stopped since. I gave it a little test drive.
Oh, because you're a journalist, yes.
Watch out.
It is everything that everyone, all the fans at home see in this ballpark. This town's going crazy right now. It's exciting.
All right, manager Tony La Russa and, of course, Jimmy Leland have spoken daily throughout the playoffs. In fact, they've spoken regularly for almost 2 decades. The friendship that began easily on the diamond will make the next 10 10 days a little bit difficult, Kevin.
You talk about best friends in baseball and in life. Tony La Russa and Jimmy Leyland go back to 1983, actually 82, but 83 is when they won the American League West. Tony La Russa was the manager for those 4 years in Chicago. Guess who he hired away from the Tiger organization? It was Jimmy Leyland as his third base coach. And after Jimmy Leyland resigned a few years ago from Colorado, guess who hired him in St. Louis to work for him for the last 6 years? Tony La Russa, again, hired Jimmy Leyland.
Yeah, you know what, Kevin? Two guys I want to go to Vegas with right now, Tony La Russa and Jim Leyland. These guys are rolling 7-11. Specifically, Tony La Russa in that series against the Mets. He pinch hits Chris Duncan against Feliciano. I'm sitting at home on my couch going, Tony, what are you doing? That's left on left. Feliciano mows down left-handed hitters. But you know what? Chris Duncan came through with a huge home run. A couple nights later, Randy Flores is on the mound against David Wright. I'm thinking to myself again, Tony, get Flores out of the game. He leaves him in the game, and sure enough, he mows down Wright, and then he ends up getting Sean Green.
All right, how about the lineup change? Moving his catcher around, and we remember this. Yadier Molina just 2 nights ago. He's a Chevrolet player of the game from Game 7 of the NLCS. You can log on to WorldSeries.com/Fox Sports and vote for most dependable player of the postseason. Chance to win the dependable Silverado.
And Eric, what you're talking about, managers go on feel sometimes. Yadier Molina, of course, you're looking at the defensive numbers here. The top 2 catchers throwing in baseball. Pudge number 1, Yadier number 2. Offensively, of course, you expect Pudge Rodriguez to get hit, but Yadier Molina came up with a big hit. Tony put him in the 7th spot, just on a field, put Belliard in the 8th spot, and guess who gets a game-winning home run? Yadier Molina.
You know what, Kevin? This postseason, 333, 2 homers, 2 doubles, 7 runs driven in for Yadier Molina. You know what? When they're not getting production out of their big guns, outlaw Scott Rowland, you can really count on a Yadier Molina. You're getting production where you didn't expect production from. So that's just a huge boost for the Cardinals, Jeannie.
All right, by the time this is done, baseball will crown its 7th different champion in 7 years. Who will it be? And we'll hear from the legendary Ernie Harwell as this once lost franchise gets a shot at a world title and a shot to save the city.
I think it's already done wonderful things for the city. The people have come together. They've come out all season long. They've been very supportive. They've waited a long time. And this is, you know, to be honest with you, it's worked for us. It's a party for them.
Eric, a few of your friends that you caught up with last night, the party is on here. They're ready. Like it. Whatever happens, these Tigers probably won't become America's team, but they embody the American dream and helped an old baseball town rediscover its soul. Nobody to tell the story than the legendary voice of the Tigers, Ernie Harwell.
Hardships are seen every day in the faces of those who live here. Faces tell the story of the past and hold hope for what lies ahead. For Detroit, the people make this city. Their strength has forged the toughness and resiliency which has overcome in the past and looks to overcome in the future. Nobody denies that times are hard, that jobs are scarce, and sometimes the future looks as bleak as the city's frigid winters. But like it has so many times and so many places, if only for a moment, baseball can heal. It cannot erase the past or dry tears, but baseball can unite. Baseball can be an escape, and baseball can give hope. This year, when the city needed it the most, the Tigers have personified the grit that defines Detroit. The 9 guys that took the field every day did so with the same drive and hunger regular people took every day to their jobs. And that's why the city is behind them. And that's why they see themselves in the players. That's why they have hope. Now standing with the World Series in front of them, will winning it all fix the problems and change the city? Probably not. There's a lot of work to do, but it will, as it always does, bring joy to these faces and give hope that if their team can overcome insurmountable odds, maybe their city can too.
And even Tony La Russa had to admit he has been watching the Tigers this season. They are a great story. How about new history? For the first time in a World Series, 2 rookies get the start tonight, guys.
Yeah, and Anthony Reyes, the rumor is that he's been tipping his pitches in the last start especially. So he went from the windup where you can see what he's doing with his hand in the glove to the stretch where you can't as a hitter see that, Eric.
Yeah, you know what? They were facing the New York Mets, and Sean Green, I played with him. This guy's the best tip reader in the game. So if this guy was tipping his pitches, Sean Green was going to know, but he switched it up on him. He started working out of the stretch. And you know what? He's been working all week with Duncan, the pitching coach. He's been working all week with them, and I think this is a problem that I'm sure he fixed because they're not going to run him out if not.
And for the Tigers, not really a surprise to me, and the reason is with Justin Verlander starting tonight, because he throws 98 miles an hour. It's pushing around 48 to 50 degrees right now. Why not punch those right-handers with the fastball and then drop that overhand hammer of a curveball? So remember, the Cardinals have faced 4 left-handed pitchers in the last series against the Mets. You know, Kenny Rogers will go tomorrow. That makes sense. But Verlander tonight, I like this move.
He's getting ready. All right. I like the part where you make your predictions.
Well, I'm 1 for 6 so far in the postseason. It's good news for Cardinal fans because I'm going to pick the Tigers in 6.
You know what? Let me tell you this. I like the Cards, Reyes, Weaver, Carpenter, everybody. But I'm in Detroit, baby. I'm going with Detroit, and I'm going with this city, and I'll be waving the white towels with everybody else.
The new broadcaster learns quick. Never upset the crowd that's sitting so close to you. All right, still ahead. You know you got first pitch. You know you got starting lineups. But first, Detroit's own Bob Seger will be singing America the Beautiful. Don't you dare move.
The manager, Tony La Russa. Leading off, the shortstop, David Eckstein. Batting second, the designated hitter, Chris Duncan. Batting third, the first baseman, Albert Pujols. Batting fourth, the center fielder, Jim Edmonds. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Scott Rowland. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Juan Encarnacion. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Ronnie Belliard. Batting eighth, the catcher, Yadier Molina. Batting ninth, the left fielder, So Taguchi. And pitching, warming up in the bullpen, Anthony Reyes. And now, let's meet your American League champion, Detroit Tigers. First, the manager, Jim Leland. Leading off, the center fielder, Curtis Granderson. Batting second, the left fielder, Craig Monroe. Batting third, the second baseman, Placido Polanco. baseman, Carlos Guillen. Batting sixth, the catcher, Punch Rodriguez. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Sean Casey. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Brendan Innes. Batting ninth, the shortstop, Ramon Santiago. And pitching, warming up in the bullpen, Justin Verlander. Hey everybody, let's hear it for the St. Louis Cardinals and your Detroit Tigers. Please stand now and remove your caps. Here tonight to honor our country by performing America the Beautiful is one of Michigan's own, multi-platinum Capitol recording artist and rock and roll Hall of Famer, Bob Seger.
Here in Motown, ready for World Series game number 1 here in 2006. Representing the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals, and representing the AL, the Detroit Tigers. And now welcome to our broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Tim McCarver is coming up in just a second. Let's talk about these two teams. First, you've got Detroit. They were the Cinderella feel-good story all year. They're just 3 years removed from a record-setting 119-loss season. But Jim Leland has this team rolling. They're the wild card, but they've won 7 straight now in the postseason. On the other side, the Cardinals had a solid year, almost blew a 7-game lead down the stretch. But right now, that all seems like a distant memory. Tony La Russa's team surviving the Padres, surviving the Mets, and now here they are in the World Series, and now here comes Tim McCarver. And Tim, I think if we talk about Detroit first, the first thing you have to look at for the Tigers is their outstanding starting pitching and their big 4 so far this postseason.
Well, the best pitching in baseball and their Mount Rushmore, their 4 starters, are really something to behold. And I think one of the reasons that they are so good, they show you so many different looks. Justin Verlander with the power. Kenny Rogers, tomorrow night starter with the control. Nate Robertson will start in St. Louis on Tuesday. He has good off-speed stuff and the power sinker of Jeremy Bonderman. I tell you, their postseason numbers match their regular season numbers.
Let's stick with the pitching and talk about the Cardinals. After the division series, we were talking about that Cardinal reshuffled bullpen. But now, as you look back on the entire postseason for St. Louis, it's the starting pitching in those big 3 that really step out and say, hey, look at us too.
I don't know whether people were shocked, but they were certainly surprised at the performances, the consistent performances of Chris Carpenter, Jeff Suppan, and Jeff Weaver. Their earned run average actually better than the Detroit Tigers staff.
Now, here's the interesting part. Because the NLCS went a full 7 games, it's Anthony Reyes making the start, the rookie, and this is the first time in World Series history that 2 rookies will hook up in game number 1. They've been waiting 22 years here in Detroit to get the World Series back. It is here in 2006. 2 legendary managers will hook up. 2 very good friends, Tony La Russa, Jim Leland. 2 good teams. World Series, game 1, next.
To withdraw, to go away, to disappear.
By Holiday Inn, the official hotel of Major League Baseball. By New Gillette Fusion, the best shave ever in manual and battery power. And by MasterCard. It is a chilly night here in Detroit. It could be a lot colder, but it is anything but toasty. 52 degrees at the start. It will drop as we go. Here's the lineup for Tony La Russa. X9 Duncan is the DH, with Pujols sitting in the number 3 spot. Then Edmonds, Roland, and Encarnacion. Ronnie Belliard, Yadier Molina, and So Taguchi is in left field, and that's the starting lineup for the Cardinals, and it's brought to you by Bank of America. Here is the young rookie right-hander, probably the American League Rookie of the Year, Justin Verlander, and his belly's got to be bouncing. He's got to be a little nervous out there tonight, making a World Series start in game 1.
I thought the interesting thing when we met with Jim Leland, Jim saying he hopes it's warm enough for Verlander's curveball to be working tonight. Excellent fastball, changeup, but his curveball is second best pitch.
Take a look at how the Tigers cover the field. State Farm covers the field, and so do the Tigers as a group during the regular season. 9th in the AL in fielding percentage, 106 errors. They've made only 2 during the postseason. And Ivan Rodriguez, the 11-time Gold Glove Award winner, anchors this team and is probably their leader behind the plate. The World Series is brought to you by Budweiser Select, brewed longer for a bold taste that finishes clean. Expect everything. What should we expect out of this World Series? Man, the flashball's popping around Comerica Park. And the first pitch, a strike to David Eckstein. All 5'7", 165 pounds of David Eckstein, waiting for an 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eckstein, Duncan, Pujols, if anybody gets on, Edmonds here in the first inning. Time called at the plate. David Eckstein so far this postseason, 8 out of 41. Tony La Russa has called him fearless, and to flop his body around night after night at the big league level, year after year, and do what he does, leaning into pitches and getting into collisions out at second base, turning double plays and laying out to catch ground balls. His body takes a beating, but he answers the bell every day for La Russa. A 1-2. good breaking ball, drops low. Boy, that thing is nasty. 2-2.
Well, the reason Jim Leland was talking about the curveball is when it's cold weather, the curveball does not break as sharply as it does in warm weather. Another one.
It drops low again, and the count's now full. So the early questions for Verlander: what kind of feel will he have for that curveball? Will he get the high strike called and that good fastball from Randy Marsh? Eckstein grounds it foul. And on top of that, Tim, we talked to La Russa before this game. He has impressed upon his hitters to lay off high deliveries, something they did not do in the NLCS against the Mets.
Scott Rowland comes to mind, a guy who fouled off and made outs on high fastballs, get it down in the zone.
That is Santiago to his left, one away. Get tonight's MasterCard keys to the game.
Well, if you told the St. Louis Cardinals, I mean, obviously they want to win 2 games, but if they go back to St. Louis with 1 win, they would be very happy. And for the Detroit Tigers is the week of rest, and they clinched last Saturday against the Oakland Athletics. So is the week of rest, is it going to hurt them? Doesn't look like it's going to hurt them so far from the looks of Verlander.
Duncan way out in front. 0-1 and now 0-2. Chris Duncan, the rookie. It's rookie on rookie here with 1 out and nobody on at the top of the first inning. And Verlander is working in a hurry. Breaking ball missing. Well, this Detroit team has had 6 full days of rest, as Tim talked about. They clinched on Saturday against Oakland. The last 6 teams with at least 5 days of rest have all won in World Series play, and that missed inside 2-2. The crowd wanted strikeout number 1 for Verlander. The 2-2. Full count again. I haven't seen a pitcher work this fast all year.
Not in the American League in particular. A league known for slow-working pitchers.
Duncan grounds it to the right side for Polanco. 2 out.
Take a look at the scouting report on Justin Verlander, the hard-throwing Virginia right-hander. Only a 2nd professional year, an excellent changeup, and that 3rd point. Will his curveball, because of the 52-degree weather, be breaking like it does in warmer weather?
Here's some good news for you. There's some rain moving into the area, we understand. And tomorrow it's supposed to rain. It might snow by tomorrow night.
Aha, jingle bells.
First pitch strike to Albert Pujols, who had only 1 RBI during the NLCS. Yet his team, the guys around him, pushed on through the Mets. We were there 2 nights ago in that thrilling Game 7. A 3-1 St. Louis Cardinal win. Here's a 1-1. Outside, 2-1, and the Cardinals have been pretty patient here with their first 3 hitters. Two out, nobody on. Albert Pujols, the reigning MVP in the National League, takes a strike on the outside corner.
Jim Leland telling us that he has preached to his pitchers to pitch Albert Pujols every pitch like it was a no ball and 2-strike count.
Now that's a hook.
When my brother started selling auto insurance, I got a little pressure to...
Fox is sponsored by the personal advisors of Ameriprise Financial. By DirecTV, there's good TV, there's better TV, and then there's DirecTV. By eBay, whatever it is, you can get it on eBay. And by Warner Brothers' new motion picture, Blood Diamond, in theaters this December. Take a look at the lineup for the Tigers. A little different look. They've got Granderson up in the leadoff spot. Then Monroe is hitting second. had been down at the bottom of the lineup for Jim Leyland. Polanco still hitting third. Ordonez is in right field. Guillen is at first. Ivan Rodriguez the catcher. DH is Sean Casey. Brandon Inge at third. And Ramon Santiago is the shortstop. And that Tiger lineup brought to you by Bank of America. And this rookie for the Cardinals is just a 5-game winner with a big ERA of over 5, getting the nod here in Game 1.
That is the fewest games that a pitcher has won to start a World Series in the history of the World Series.
Granderson first up. He takes a strike from Reyes. Curtis struck out 174 times during the regular season. That was the most in the American League. But it's been a different story in the postseason. He's in the hole here, 0-2. He struck out only 3 times against the pitching of New York and Oakland. And he walked 4 times. And he hit 3 home runs. And he has to patrol a huge center field here in this stadium. That's high, ball 1. How about that? 420 to straightaway and a lot of room in right center field. 1-2 pitch. Granderson chops it to Pujols. And there's one down in the bottom of the first. State Farm covers the field. A look at how the Cardinals cover the field defensively. In the outfield, it's So Taguchi making his first start of the postseason. Edmonds in center, and Encarnacion is in right. And then it's Rolen, Eckstein, Belliard, and Pujols. And this World Series will feature 2 of the best throwing catchers in the game, between Ivan Rodriguez and the younger Yadier Molina, who was the hitting star from Game 7 in the NLCS for the Cardinals 2 nights ago with a game-winning home run. First pitch strike to Craig Monroe, who hit 28 home runs during the regular season. Probably the best all-around athlete, the most tools in this Detroit lineup as he takes inside. 1-1. On deck is Polanco. A 1-1 from Reyes. Fought off, foul back, strike 2. Tony La Russa said, Tim, that he made the final start of the year, the last day against Milwaukee. He was not on the roster for the division series. He did make a Game 4 start in the NLCS, and he thinks he'll be a little better than that because of the experience here tonight, getting the World Series. As Monroe hits it fair, down the third baseline into left, and Monroe will have a double with 1 out.
When Anthony Reyes started in the National League Championship Series, he went 4 innings. And he featured the straight change. We thought too much. And he comes in with a straight change to Craig Monroe, just fair, inside the third baseline. That's an excellent pitch, but you can't go to that well too often in early innings because hitters their timing is a lot different. You haven't faced them. So the changeup got Granderson, but Monroe with the changeup doubles with 1 out.
And now Polanco, runner at second, 1 away. A chance for Detroit to jump out in front. And a strike on the inside corner. Polanco, the former Cardinal, came up with St. Louis in '98, was there until 2002 when Walt Jocketty packaged him up, sent him on to Philadelphia in the Scott Rowland deal. He's the MVP of the ALCS. The 0-1. Little flare, shallow center field. Out is Belliard for the catch, 2 down.
Take a look at the scouting report on Anthony Reyes, who is a teammate of Mark Pryor of the Chicago Cubs at the University of Southern California. 4-seam fastball. That's the one that goes up. It's the faster of the fastballs. He's working on that 2-seamer and using his changeup more than he's ever used.
The first word in that second point is a word that would describe Anthony Reyes, period. Developing. He is a young right-hander just getting his feet wet at the big league level, and here he is in Game 1 of the World Series. Missing high to Maglio Ordonez. when he last was at the plate, when it counted. He hit the walk-off home run to help the Tigers sweep the ALCS over Oakland. 1-0. Molina somehow keeps it at the plate. It looked like this.
There were reports in the paper here that he used Carlos Guillen's bat when he hit that home run. I asked Magler about that before the game. He said no, he did not, but he uses it often. I said, anybody else's bat? He said no, just his best friend, Carlos Guillen.
Well, that particular bat he can't use anymore. It went off to Cooperstown. Runner at second, 2 out. A 2-0 pitch. Guillen on deck. Series-ending home runs in LCS history. He's on this list with Aaron Boone, Chris Chambliss, doing it against Kansas City back in 1976. Boone did it against the Red Sox. Here's a 3-0. Ordonez takes a strike. Talked to Dave Duncan prior to tonight's game. He thought Reyes would be nervous here in the early going, but believes he could get through some innings. As Tim mentioned, he went 4 in that Game 4 start, and he allowed 2 runs on 2 home runs. Just 3 hits, but he did walk 4. That was the issue. His control against the Mets. 12-5 win for New York. The guy in the middle there, Weaver, won Game 5. And the former Tiger will start Game 2 tomorrow night. Here comes a 3-1. Full count. How can that bat boy look so tired? It's the first inning of Game 1. Runner at second, 2 out, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a walk. A double, a walk. And now a guy who, when you start asking around in the Tiger clubhouse who they would expect to have a great World Series, it might, if the Tigers end up winning this, be an MVP candidate. This is the guy that most point to.
Yeah, he had a good division series against the Yankees, but only 3 for 16 against the Athletics. But he is their clutch player. Jim Leyland calls him the smartest player on his roster. By the way, no thought of pitching around Ordonez to get to Guillen. Guillen, too good a clutch hitter. He just walked him.
2 on with 2 out. Oh, and 1. You can look at the numbers and you start to realize that's what he's done this season, hitting .367 in the postseason. But here's a guy who came here in 04 and since has the highest average among big league shortstops. And you know the names that are on that list, like Jeter and Tejada, and right on down the list. Guillen has the best average of them all. Tonight, because of the injury to Sean Casey, he's playing first base. Down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Casey with a little tear in his left calf during the ALCS out in Oakland. He's DHing tonight. He says he feels great. And when this series goes to St. Louis, Casey will be in the lineup as the first baseman unless something unforeseen happens here in the first 2 games.
Normally when a catcher goes out to the mound, he's out there to try to talk about a pitcher's confidence or to try not to talk too much about mechanics. But when a shortstop joins that twosome, normally it's about changing a sign. And I doubt that, you know, Craig Monroe has been out there long enough to get any sign from Anthony Reyes. And the reason we bring that up is that Reyes, when he started, went from the windup to the stretch because he thought that the Mets were getting his signs. And here comes Molina again to talk to Anthony Reyes.
I thought you couldn't call back-to-back timeouts. Is that just the NFL?
If a catcher goes to the mound twice, the pitcher should have to leave the game. Same as the manager rule.
What could have changed right then?
I don't know. That's the one thing you don't want to do, is you don't want to get your pitcher thinking so much that it takes away from the way he's releasing the ball home.
1 ball, 1 strike. Guillen trying to put the Tigers on top. That's why. Yeah, it's worth bringing up about him tipping his pitches, and he was. The Cardinals saw him tipping his pitches. The Mets saw him tipping his pitches. So we went to the stretch in that Game 4 start in the NLCS. But I would imagine you start getting that bouncing around in your head, and you start worrying about that, and you forget to pitch.
That's where you really messed up then.
Here's a 2-1. Into right field. That's going to drop for a hit. The Tigers take the lead. Encarnacion makes an error. Throws towards second late, and it's 1-0 Tigers.
Greg Monroe scores a run after doubling off a changeup. Carlos Guillen, a single and a second base on a changeup. So the changeup has hurt Reyes here in the first inning.
Good start for Detroit. A 1-out double, a 2-out walk. The hit by Guillen, the error out in right by Encarnacion. The RBI for Carlos Guillen. And now Ivan Rodriguez steps in. That misses for ball 1. Ivan Rodriguez hasn't hit much this postseason, but realize in his postseason career, he's a .406 hitter with runners in scoring position. That is the 6th best total all time. He has runners at second and third, 2 out. A 1-0 pitch. A little flare caught by Belliard, and the inning is over. However, the Tigers are on top. RBI by Guillen. 2 left in the inning, and after 1 in Game 1, 1-0 Tigers. Quick first inning, and the Tigers are doing tonight what they've done this entire postseason. They've outscored the opponents first couple of innings 11-3, and they dominated their opposition during the regular season. Edmonds goes after the first pitch. Strike 1.
The reason that graphic is so important is when you dominate the early innings, you give your pitchers a chance to relax, particularly a guy in only his 2nd professional season like Verlander.
Verlander was the 2nd overall pick in 04 from Old Dominion. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dave Duncan and Anthony Reyes, the pitching coach for the Cardinals, and tonight's starting pitcher, trying to get together on what just transpired in the bottom of the first. Last year, first year in pro ball, Verlander went from high A ball all the way up to the big league level. 17-game winner this season, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Edmonds.
He has everything working in the early going. Good fastball, good curveball to get Pujols, and a good change.
TV does not do Justin Verlander justice.
No.
You and I are looking at this guy live for the first time, and he really gets your attention.
It's a relatively new phrase, electric stuff. And players have, filthy is another term, electric stuff. He is all of the above.
The 2-2 to Edmonds. Defensive swing. 17 wins by Verlander, the most by a Tiger rookie since Mark Fidrich. Won 19 games back in 1976. Mark the Bird Fidrich.
What a character and a great guy, and was great for this city back in the middle 70s.
Edmonds strikes out.
But Jim Edmonds saw everything. He saw the curveball, he saw the change, and he goes down on the high fastball out of the strike zone.
That's the pitch that Tony La Russa is worried about tonight.
That's the pitch he was worried about throughout the National League Championship Series. The high fastball from Met pitchers, and now obviously the same thing from a more talented staff, perhaps the most talented staff in baseball.
And nobody will be challenged more by fastballs up than this hitter, Scott Rowland.
Where the first fastball missed, up.
6 hits, 32 at-bats during this postseason, no RBIs. And he hits one into left field, back at the track, at the wall. It's a 1-1 game. Scott Rowland gets his first home run in the postseason since 2004 when he went deep off Roger Clemens in Game 7 of the NLCS.
High fastball, right above the belt, middle of the plate. Actually, between the letters and the waist, and this is the pitch that Rowland was making an out on throughout the National League Championship Series. See how he brought the hands in and hammered the inside fastball to tie it for the Cardinals.
Encarnacion flies one into shallow right for Polanco. 2 out. If you're seeing the Cardinals for the first time, where have you been? The Cardinals during the regular season wrapped up their 3rd straight Central Division title. Tony La Russa and his team persevered through a 7-game NLCS to beat the Mets. Final pitch of the series, and it's the 2nd World Series appearance in 3 years for the Cardinals. Last time, not so good. 4-game sweep at the hands of the Red Sox. Belliard grounds out to short, but the Cardinals have tied it. A 1-out home run by Scott Rowland. That had to feel good for the Cardinal third baseman. 1-1 after 1.5. 10th pennant. Last time they were in the World Series, 1984, when they beat San Diego. Alan Trammell was the MVP that year for Detroit. He was the manager fired last fall, and now a lot of the groundwork that he laid has been built upon by Jim Leland, who has turned this organization upside down in a good way in his first year here in Detroit. Sean Casey putting together a great postseason, then went down in Game 1 with that calf injury. The 0-1 from Reyes. 0-2.
A team that won 71 games last year, won 95 games this year.
Molina flashing the signs, and the 0-2 pitch dips low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This Detroit organization, which dates back into the 1800s, has 4 world championships. 1935, 1945, 1968, they came back to beat the Cardinals, who had a 3-games-to-1 lead, and then the 1984 season. The 1-2 pitch, Casey strikes out. The first strikeout for Reyes comes at the hands of the leadoff hitter here in the 2nd.
Good inside fastball, foul tipped by Sean Casey into the glove of Molina.
I can just tell by the way you're talking, you want to see, if you were back there behind the plate calling pitches for Reyes, you want to see him establish that fastball.
Yes, that's the way I would go. When you come out with that changeup in the early innings, to me, that's not the way to go. You establish the fastball, and then second time through the lineup, it's a different story.
There's Brandon Inge. He flies to right. 2 down. This is a big park. This is not as big a park as it once was. Tigers' first year here at Comerica was back in 2000. And the pitchers loved it. But the question was, would they ever be able to get any big-time hitters to come here as free agents because of the dimensions of this park? Well, they moved the left field fence in 25 feet in 2003. It's still big to center. It's still very deep into right center field. But left field has been made a lot easier. Because they moved the fence in, and there were 56 home runs hit between the semi-new fence and the old fence this season. Here's a little fly ball out behind second base. Eckstein waits for it, has it, and Ramon Santiago pops up. We go into the third inning. A look at downtown Detroit. Pleasant night so far weather-wise, and the score 1-1. Strike underway in the third inning. Molina, So Taguchi, David Eckstein. For the Cardinals, they tied it in the top of the second on a home run by Scott Rowland, which is important for a number of different reasons, not the least of which is if the Cardinals can get anybody going behind Pujols, it will be a lot more difficult for the Tigers in this series to pitch carefully to the reigning NL MVP.
Yeah, be it Jim Edmonds or Scott Rowland or both of them.
Here's a 1-2. Molina out in front of it.
Well, Yadier's feet are back on the ground, saying that his home run, his two-run shot to beat the Mets in the top of the ninth inning on Thursday night at Shea Stadium, going around the bases, and he couldn't feel his feet touch the ground.
The 1-2. Up and after it. Molina hit a changeup. He told our crew after the game that he was looking changeup. And we'll see if the Tigers come after Molina with more hard stuff. He hit only .216 during the regular season.
Changeup.
And it misses by plenty. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The other side of it is, while the Tigers are heavily favored in this series, and while they have pitched well to this point, they have had the layoff, and you have to still wonder what some of these young players will do. 18 of the 25 players on the roster for Jim Leland are in the postseason for the first time. Molina flares one into right, and that ball's going to fall for a hit in front of Maglio Ordonez, and the Cardinals put their leadoff man on for the first time tonight.
After the changeup, Verlander tries to come back inside with the fastball, and Molina jammed, but dumps one in front of Maglio Ordonez. Yeah, the Cardinals have been underdogs against the San Diego Padres. They were more the underdog against the Mets, and they are most the underdog. Sounds like a conjugation. Most underdog against the Tigers.
Here's So Taguchi. A big reason why the Cardinals are here. For his, in essence, game-winning home run that came in Game 2 at Shea Stadium off Billy Wagner. His postseason has been perfect. 4 for 4, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. On the outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The fact that the Cardinals are such underdogs in the World Series, you get the feeling that it kind of miffs Tony La Russa. In our meeting tonight, he did not take kindly to a writer who said Tigers in 3 during the World Series.
And Taguchi on a hit and run throws his bat at the ball. It's a fair ball as Rodriguez picks it up, gets the out. And with Molina running like a bunt, Taguchi advances him down to second base.
Had Rodriguez let this ball go, it would have gone foul. Taguchi throwing the bat at the ball, and with Rodriguez's arm, he understands that he can get the one out, and he took it. This ball would have rolled foul had he let it go foul, but he opted to pick it up. So he throws ball and chalk to get Taguchi.
And I'm sure there are people at home saying, well, why didn't he just let it roll foul? Then the Cardinals don't have a guy in scoring position. Taguchi's up with another strike in the count. But there are many people who would argue the other way, saying if there's an out sitting right there, grab it, take it, and move on from there.
Yeah, not only that, you can't read whether the ball is going to go foul that quickly. And if you hesitate, Taguchi's got an infield hit.
Eckstein now with the RBI chance, and it counts 2-0. David grounded out to short his first time up. It's a simple compliment that he gets from his manager, Tony La Russa, but it means a lot to David Eckstein when Tony La Russa reminds him that he's a good player. And I say that because all you hear about Eckstein is he's tough, and that's all I talked about his first time up. He's tough, he's little, he's scrappy, he just gets by, but he's hard-nosed. La Russa said, yeah, he's all that, and don't forget he's a good player. He's a good hitter, and he's a good fielder. It's not just that he's kind of a novelty because he looks like he's 10 years old. Out in front of that pitch, 2-2.
It's almost like a left-handed pitcher who's not a hard thrower that they call crafty. And he's thinking, when are you going to give me credit for being a good pitcher instead of crafty?
The 2-2. Breaking ball got him, and what a pitch that was from Verlander.
A knee locker from Verlander. You could see the movement in Eckstein's. When you got a hitter like that, you got him in the cradle and the curveball getting Eckstein. Not too many guys are going to hit that
pitch. Now it's Duncan. Duncan, a very good fastball hitter. Grounded out to second his first time up. Runner at second, 2 out. And a skipper in there for ball 1. If you don't know and you're just checking out the Cardinals for the first time, Chris's dad is longtime pitching coach with Tony La Russa, Dave Duncan. And with La Russa in Chicago, Oakland, and now St. Louis from his first year on in 1996. 2-0. Proud father on the right, and now a visit from the first baseman, Guillen. And he's trying to settle Verlander down because of the situation. And that is a runner at second, 2 out, a 2-0 count, and Pujols on deck. To Duncan. 2-1.
For the most part, the Tigers do not want first base occupied when they pitch to Pujols. Jim Leyland telling us that you can't drive yourself crazy about that the Cardinals are a good lineup. Pujols is the best hitter.
That is a fair ball down the right field line. It takes a funny bounce. Molina will score, and it's 2-1 St. Louis as the rookie Chris Duncan delivers with 2 out here in the 3rd inning.
So Verlander throws Duncan a 2-1 changeup just inside the line. Changeups have hurt both pitchers thus far. You can see that grip. When a pitcher grips that ball tightly, the slower the pitch. Just inside the diving Guillen, and now there is a place to put Pujols, but the Tigers are going to pitch to him like it's 0-2.
Come on, man! Pujols, runner at second, 2 out. And Albert Pujols hits one into deep right field. Back at the wall, it is gone. 2-run shot, Albert Pujols with first base open. The Tigers pitch to the MVP, and he makes Detroit pay. It's 4-1 St. Louis here in the 3rd inning. Third home run this postseason. He had only 1 RBI the entire NLCS. He's got 2 here in the World Series now.
So instead of pitching Pujols like it was 0-2, Verlander pitches him like it was 2 balls and no strikes. Tell you, Jim Leland told us before the first division game against the Yankees, Joe, that Tuesday night, that he'll be second-guessed a lot in the division series, in the ALCS, and he'll be second-guessed about that, too. The first base open.
I just don't understand it, because he was talking about, I'm not going to go to the point, I don't think, where if it's 2 out, nobody on, I'm going to put him on. But he was thinking in those terms, not runner at second, 2 out, Edmonds coming up in a situation where Pujols can add to a lead, and yet he gets a pitch right down the middle, and Pujols didn't miss it. First pitch, a strike to Edmonds, and now trying to bunt his way on. He's in the hole 0-2.
Now, that's a bad play right there. I mean, you're a cleanup hitter, and with 2 out and nobody on, you're trying to bunt your way on. Not a good play, and that's why the third baseman, Brandon Inge, is back so far.
Now Edmonds strikes out for the second time tonight, but the Cardinals come up with 3, capped on the 2-run shot by Albert Pujols. 4-1, the Cardinals lead here in the middle of the 3rd inning of Game 1.
When you take that field today, you've got to lay your heart on the line.
Curtis Granderson with Monroe to follow, and then Polanco here in the 3rd inning for the Tigers, and they're down 3. Granderson flies it in the air to left field, and back is Taguchi for out number 1. Just to go back to the 2-run home run with 2 out, first base open in the top of this 3rd inning, hit by Albert Pujols, and we started to talk about our visit with Jim Leland, and we plan on visiting with the Tiger manager in game. He said we're going to pitch to Albert Pujols, at least going in, like the count is always 0-2, and try to make that perfect pitch. That's fouled back behind the plate and out of play off the bat of Craig Monroe. Because you obviously have to be careful, Tim, with Albert Pujols. He's the MVP for a reason. During the regular year, he hit 49 home runs. But that pitch is too good in that situation from Verlander, a 23-year-old rookie.
Yeah, you can have meetings and tell 23-year-old rookies not to pitch to a hitter because he's too good a hitter, the best hitter in the game and one of the best in the history of the game. But once you get out there, you're not used to pitching guys like that. You're not used to making 0-2 pitches on guys and pitching around them.
Shattered bat. That is a foul ball.
So that's when a manager has to make up or make the decision for the pitcher. I mean, if you tell a young pitcher like that to go ahead and make an 0-2 pitch on a guy like Pujols all the time, well, his competitive ire takes over. I mean, again, this is his 2nd professional season. And to expect him to execute pitches like that to the great Albert Pujols is a very, very difficult assignment.
So you expected the intentional walk.
I did.
I expected the intentional walk. I'm sure Albert expected the intentional walk. He didn't get it. And then he hits the home run into right to make it 4-1. Now a 1-2 pitch to Monroe. You see Reyes start to mix in the breaking ball more here in the 3rd inning, and the count evens 2-2. Tigers have won a franchise record 7 straight postseason games. Lost the first division series game at New York against the Yankees, and they have been rolling ever since. Right at the shortstop Eckstein, and that's out number 2. As we look back on the season for Jim Leland's Tigers, they have some of the best young guns in all of baseball and the best ERA in the major leagues this year. First time that's happened in franchise history. Led their division for 147 days, did not win the Central. And their 7-game playoff winning streak continued on a walk-off home run by Maglio Ordonez. Here's Polanco hitting one a ton down the line. It is foul.
We talked about how smart Carlos Guillen is as a player. Well, this guy right here is going to be a future manager in my estimation. This guy is one of the smartest players around. He went up there looking for a pitch he could jerk. He's not a home run hitter, but he looked in and up, got it, and pulled it foul.
Now the 0-1 from Reyes. This is down and away. The Tigers really missed him when on August 15th he separated his left shoulder making a diving play at Boston. He missed 5 weeks, and this Tiger team was 8 games under 500 with him out of the lineup during that stretch. Now this is overall with and without Polanco in the lineup. 24 and 31 when he's not in the lineup. 78-37 runs per game. The team average is better when he hits in the number 2 or number 3 spot. In the hole here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Polanco pops it up right side, foul ball, out of play. Polanco and Pujols are the very best of friends. And Tony La Russa was impressed with Placido Polanco from the moment he came to the big league level. He's one of those guys that isn't flashy with his abilities, but he can hit. He's a very good fundamental player, and he can hit just about anywhere in this lineup for Jim Leyland. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on here in the 3rd inning. A breaking ball is pulled foul.
Polanco, a player who has made every team on which he played a better team. Cardinals were better with him. The Phillies were better with him, and the Tigers are better with him. You might say, well, why did they trade him? Well, your needs change. Scott Rowland had a chance to pick him up, and the Phillies had a chance to get Ugi Urbina, a short reliever, and that's why they traded him. Your needs change.
Polanco lines 1 to Belliard, and we go into the 4th inning of game number 1. The Cardinals out in front of the Tigers, 4-1. Up 2 home runs in this game, 1 by Pujols, 1 by Rowland. Rowland already 1 for 1 with a home run in this World Series. When the Cardinals played Boston in 04, Rowland was 0 for 15. Had a bad calf during that 04 postseason, and it got worse and worse. And by the time the Cardinals got to the World Series against Terry Francona's team, they were out of gas, and it showed. Here's the 0-1. 0-2. You could really, Tim, look at the last 3 swings that Scott Rowland has had in the postseason. NLCS Game 7. He was robbed of the home run by Chavez and got a base hit in front of the Molina home run of the 9th. And then tonight, goodbye. 1-2.
To the point where he has, in effect, pushed Detroit and impressed Detroit with the high fastball. When you do that, you make them change.
2-2.
To the point where they come back with 2 breaking balls. We didn't see the Mets do that the whole series against Scott Rowland.
They didn't have to.
No, that's right. Because he kept fighting off that high fastball, popping it up, fouling it back.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And a breaking ball strikes out Rowland. That's 5 strikeouts for Verlander. And let's check in for the first time tonight with Chris Myers.
Hey, Joe, one of the more interesting stories in this series that neither manager wants to talk about is the unique relationship between La Russa and Leyland. It goes far beyond baseball and their friendship. But Leyland says here the players are the show. I don't want to talk about it. La Russa said, I don't want to ruin our friendship and talk about it if he doesn't want to talk about it. But he did say, I wish I had $1 for every minute we've talked over the years. I'd be a rich man. And they both, you get the impression, they talked for a few minutes before the game. They both feel richer for being friends with each other.
Yeah, and it's a relationship that dates back to 1982. Tony La Russa giving Jim Leyland a shot on his big league coaching staff. And then most recently, for 6 years, Jim Leyland was a scout, a Major League Baseball scout for the Cardinals while working out of home. Got the itch to come back, he said, because he watched Tony La Russa even more carefully and wanted to give it another shot. That misses down and in, and on 4 pitches, Encarnacion gets the first walk of this night, handed out by Verlander. There's the comparison. Tony La Russa's win total, by the way, number 3 on the all-time list, behind Connie Mack and John McGraw. Each manager has won a World Series, and whoever wins this World Series, the manager will accomplish something and join only Sparky Anderson on the list of managers who have won a World Series in each league. Sparky doing it in 75 and 76 with Cincinnati, and he was the man in charge here in Detroit back in 1984. Encarnacion back ahead of the tag by Guillen.
That was close. Verlander is 6'5", and not too many pitchers that are 6'5" have quick moves to first base. You have to have quick feet. And Justin, an excellent athlete. You talked about being from Virginia, going to Old Dominion. Marvelous athlete with very, very quick feet and a good move to first.
Ronnie Belliard takes a strike. Talking to La Russa before the game, he said the combination of this pitching staff, whether it's Verlander or Kenny Rogers or Bonderman or even Robertson, along with Ivan Rodriguez, is likely to shut down our running game.
And when a manager talks like that, he's talking about the stolen base game, not the hit and run game.
Breaking ball misses, ball one. Belliard's let the hair go a little bit. He's taken the braids out, and he's gone with a new look here in the World Series. Molina on deck. Verlander is doing everything he can to let Encarnacion, who stole a whopping 6 bases during the regular season, know that he is paying attention to him. And there's some hair for you. Belliard on your left, and then Maglio Ordonez on your right. Kind of a welcome back Cotter look by Maglio. Belliard swung at that pitch like it was a hit and run.
Well, it did. He did, because he looked at Encarnacion after he swung at the ball. Watch him look this way toward Encarnacion, saying, weren't you supposed to be going then?
One ball, 2 strikes. Verlander has struck out 5. 1 on, 1 out. And that breaking ball stays up a little. 2-2. Got under that one. Belliard grounded out his first time, and I am surprised that they've got Verlander, the 23-year-old, so worried about Encarnacion over at first. Breaking ball is tipped foul. All that stuff is called by the bench, whether it's the Tigers or the Cardinals. That's not Verlander stepping off or holding the ball longer than usual on his own. That's called by Rodriguez, his catcher, after checking with the dugout. The 2-2. 2 out. Strikeout number 6.
Verlander has been impressive with 3 pitches. The key pitch, the home run on the fastball hit by Pujols, but the changeup gets Belliard. Strikeout number 6 for the young right-hander.
Now Yadier Molina, who has been the hitting star so far for the Cardinals in the postseason. 2 homers, 7 RBIs, singled and scored back in the 3rd inning. And is hitting just under .390 in his last 10 road postseason games. That's chopped foul. Whichever team wins between the Cardinals and the Tigers means that we will crown, for the 7th straight year, Major League Baseball, a different champion. 0-1. Breaking ball's a good one, 0-2.
No other sport can claim that. And plain and simple, that means revenue sharing is working.
At least helping.
Yeah. Spread the wealth.
0-2 pitch. 7 strikeouts for Verlander, and the rookie struck out the side. Bottom of the 4th inning, 4-1 St. Louis.
Hey, over here.
It's World Series game number 1, and the heart of the order for the Tigers, down by 3. Ordonez goes after the first pitch, flies it into center for Jim Edmonds. 1 pitch, 1 out. Tony La Russa gave us a little visit during the last break. Manager of the Cardinals. First of all, Scott Rowland, he took a high fastball and dumped it over the wall in left field. That has to give you guys some excitement down in the dugout just because of the pitch alone.
Well, that and the way he finished up the series before, and this at-bat here, he had a couple of great swings, just an outstanding 2-2 changeup. But we get him going, helps a lot.
Yeah, it really helps out your situation, and it points to what will or won't be done with Albert Pujols. Were you surprised with first base open that the Tigers went ahead and pitched to Pujols when he homered?
Well, I know that the Tigers have great respect for Jim Edmonds. I mean, they've seen him be a big timer, and that's one of our pluses, because if you don't want Albert, Jimmy's got a chance to get you.
Let's talk real quick about Albert Pujols. Some said he was pressing during the NLCS. He had the home run. He had 1 RBI. That has to get him going a little bit and get the weight off his shoulders, son.
Well, Joe, I looked at it, Joe. We didn't give him a lot of RBI chances. And, I mean, his average was still, good. So, I mean, Albert's Albert, and he's going to be fine.
All right, Tony, thanks for your time. To back up with numbers, what La Russa was talking about, Pujols stepped to the plate in the first inning tonight with a .324 average this postseason. A lot of that damage done against San Diego. But in the NLCS, only 5 times did he come up with runners in scoring position against the Mets, and he walked 3 of those 5 times.
Now, I think it's worth pointing out, too, that Pujols hit the first pitch. He hit a pitch before he gave the Tigers a chance to pitch around it or to rethink their position. So the fact that the first fastball was what he was looking for was, I guess, doubly lethal from a Tiger standpoint. First pitch, home run right field.
That made it 4-1. It's still 4-1. And Guillen, who has the only Tiger RBI with a base hit with 2 out in the first, to score Monroe. Waits for another and strikes out. You want to call it swinging or looking, you can take your pick, and that's strikeout number 2 for Anthony Reyes,
who all of a sudden has retired 9 in a row. And Guillen caught in between. We talked about the 2-seam fastball earlier. That's what that was. Usually, if you see a pitch away from a left-handed batter from a right-handed pitcher, it's a 2-seam fastball. Ball going away, and Guillen caught looking.
Ivan Rodriguez hit a soft line drive for an out with second and third, 2 out in the first inning. He gets this one off the end of the bat into right center field, and Encarnacion. And all of a sudden, you look at the numbers, and Reyes has outpitched Verlander. 4-1 Cardinals after 4. Back after this from your local Fox station.
Wednesday, November 1st. The most.
Then Eckstein and the DH Duncan for St. Louis up by 3. Verlander pours a fastball in for strike 1. He has struck out 7, walked 1. He had the bad inning in the third when he allowed 3 runs on 3 hits, capped on the home run by Pujols. 0-2 on Taguchi, who's 0 for 1. First time Taguchi's been retired this postseason, now 4 out of 5. When he hit a tapper and was thrown out by Rodriguez his first time. Now he is 0 for 2. Our game summary is brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Scott Rowland tied the game at 1 with a home run back in the second. And then the Cardinals went to work, and there's the Pujols home run the opposite way. A matchup of Verlander, a 17-game winner, against Anthony Reyes, a 5-game winner. The red-hot Tigers have been cooled to this point. Here's Eckstein, 0 for 2. David has grounded out, struck out, and is now just 8 for 43 this postseason. He is 8 for 44. 2 down.
Well, Joe, during the National League Championship Series, some of the Cardinals who were not supposed to hit home runs hit home runs. David Eckstein, So Taguchi, Yadier Molina hit 2. Even Jeff Suppan ran into 1. But tonight, the Cardinals who were supposed to hit home runs have hit them. Roland and Pujols.
Ball 1 to Duncan. Duncan had a pinch hit home run in Game 5 in St. Louis against the Mets. Out in front of that pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Early sledding here in Detroit.
They have some tomorrow night. 1 and 2 on Duncan. Verlander has got his stuff back together. Tigers in the bottom of this inning will have the last 3 in their lineup. Two and 2. Duncan strikes out, and that's 8 strikeouts for Verlander. 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for the Tigers as they trail St. Louis by 3.
I see it on.
How Casey hit that ball, but he did. The count's still 0-2.
Well, that's that theory. Hit the ball before it hits you.
And there you see the numbers, a 1-2 record with a good ERA, and then a real struggle to close out the season. The 0-2 pitch. Out of play. And just to put another log on that fire, as you promoted the interview that we did with Jim Leland, you'll find out within the interview why these players love playing for this guy so much. He is an honest person and somebody who does not play games with these big league athletes, has the right thing to say going through the clubhouse, changing the culture with the Tigers. Casey is jammed and flies it into right center field for Edmonds. 1 out, and here is Tiger manager Jim Leland. Well, Jim Leland, obviously the question will be here early is first base open. You had Pujols up, 2 out in the inning. Edmonds coming up, and you guys gave him something to hit, and he didn't miss it with a home run into right.
No, that's right. And, you know, I have to take full responsibility for that, but we weren't supposed to pitch to him there, and he just tried to get one way outside, and it tailed back over the outer half, and he hit it out of the ballpark. So, but I don't, you know, I'll take the blame for that, but it wasn't Justin's fault, but obviously we weren't supposed to be pitching to him there.
Since that point, Verlander has gotten his stuff back together, and he looks like he's back on top of things. Now, what are you guys trying to do against Reyes? What have you seen him do?
They've done a good job of kind of starting away and then getting guys out late with the ball inside. And they've jammed Polanco a couple times. They jammed Pudge once. So, you know, they have a pretty good plan, and he's been executing pretty good so far.
I want to go back real quick, and then we'll let you go. There aren't a lot of guys who would admit and take full responsibility for that pitch that Verlander threw. Is there some thinking there, because some of these guys are young, that you want to make that good 0-2 type pitch, but in certain situations you need to make the decision for them?
Yeah, that's probably right. You know, we talked about that earlier. We talked about in situations that really hurt us, we weren't going to give him anything at all, and that's why I say I'll take full responsibility. You know, he got him out his first time up. We felt that Albert was a little anxious coming in, and we thought if we threw some pitches off the plate, we might be able to get him out, but obviously it didn't work.
Jim, good luck, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Jim Leland, the Tiger manager. Meanwhile, the count's gone to 2-2 now on Inge, and he gets a piece of it. 1 out, nobody on. Santiago, the number 9 hitter, on deck.
I'll tell you, Joe, that is as naked a candor as I have heard. I mean, you don't hear comments like that from a manager after a game, much less during a game. You can disagree with him pitching to Pujols, but you can't disagree with his honesty.
Here is a 2-2 pitch from Reyes, and another foul. Inge is a guy who over the last 5 years, his power numbers have been getting better and better year to year. Former catcher, now a third baseman, a guy who made a lot of errors during the regular season, 22, but his teammates will tell you it's because his range is so good. He gets to so many balls, he makes more errors. A changeup strikes out Inge, and that's the third strikeout for Anthony Reyes. 2 out here in the 5th.
That's the changeup after so many fastballs. So Reyes, hurt by the changeup in the first inning, has changed his style, his delivery, and his pitch selection, and has retired 12 straight Tigers.
On Santiago now. 2 out, nobody on. Santiago takes a strike. The base is empty. Santiago, who hit 225 and 80 at bats during the regular season, and who is getting the start tonight at short. Very good defensive shortstop. While Guillen plays at first, and Casey is the DH. A 1-1 pitch. 1-2. Cardinals had the day off yesterday, so they've got a bullpen, guys with fresh arms. Reyes tries to turn in 5 very good innings. Young pitcher who irons the bill of his cap, delivers the pitch, and that's a foul ball down the left field line by Santiago.
You know, in my experience, in 48 years, I have never known a player to iron the bill of his cap. But Anthony Reyes does, and that's why it is so straight across from ear to ear.
2 out, nobody on, a 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
Now the fun thing about Anthony Reyes, who turned 25 last Monday, is that he wears his socks high and irons the bill of his cap. Both of those are unusual in today's age.
Pitch, another strikeout, back-to-back strikeouts for Anthony Reyes. 4 on the night, 13 straight retired. Heart of the order coming up for the Cardinals, up 3. Pujols leads off and takes a change up high. It'll be Pujols, Edmonds, and Roland. 2 of the 3 have homered tonight. Albert, a 2-run shot the opposite way in the 3rd inning, made it 4-1. Good breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. It's in the 40s here now in Detroit. And a little high heat on this 40-plus degree night for Pujols. 2-1. There are the numbers. 84 pitches so far and 8 strikeouts against 1 walk. But 4 runs on 4 hits. And now a 3-1 count. Off the end of the bat. Jim Leland had started each of the first 2 series, both the Yankee series and then the A's series, with Robertson on the mound. Had the Mets won 2 nights ago, he would have started this series with the left-hander on the mound. Instead, it's Verlander, and the rookie right-hander has issued his 2nd walk of the night. For the leadoff hitter, Pujols, our HB player personality is Justin Verlander. Childhood idol Nolan Ryan. Nolan would be proud. His favorite TV show, Saved by the Bell. Screech would be proud. His hobby, playing golf in the offseason. And if not a baseball player, he would like to be an astronaut. HB, the computer is personal again. Here's Edmonds. 1 on, nobody out. Edmonds takes a ball up and in. Between Zach and Screech and Mr. Belding, Tim, who would you say is probably the most complex character on Saved by the Bell?
I don't know how to answer that.
With a 1-0 pitch, down and in, 2-0.
I thought it was interesting in that player profile that he wanted to be an astronaut. I have never encountered a player who wanted to be an astronaut.
Have you encountered any astronauts who wanted to be players?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've read about them.
2-0 now is the count as both Guillen and Rodriguez go out to talk to Verlander. A walk and now a 2-0 count. And the Tigers cannot afford to fall any further behind.
Folks may be thinking, well, why did he pitch to Pujols to lead off the inning when he pitched to him the last time? Well, obviously, a totally different situation. The last time first base was open, there were 2 outs, a man on second, this time leading off the inning.
Edmonds tried to hold up. He did, according to Mike Winters, and it's 3-0.
Looked like the Cardinals got a break there. Did Edmonds go too far? I thought so.
I did too. But it's called ball 3, and the count's 3-0. You saw Grilli and Walker getting loose for the Tigers in their bullpen. 3-0 pitch is a strike. 3-1. On deck is Rolen, who was homered and struck out. 6th inning of game 1 and a 4-1 St. Louis lead. And the throw gets away from Guillen. Rattles around by the tarp, and Albert Pujols is going to end up on third base. So now Verlander compounds his problems by throwing wildly over to first. It'll be an error, and the Cardinals have a runner at third with nobody out.
Yeah, that is a fruitless throw to second base and very careless. There's no way Albert Pujols is going anywhere. Number one, he's got a bad hamstring. It looks improved in going to third base and standing up, but he's going nowhere unless it's to be protected by a hitter, and I doubt that Tony La Russa would send him because Edmonds swings through too many pitches.
A little grimace by Pujols. Tim mentioned the bad hamstring, and he turned it on to get to third there. 3-1 now. There's the count on the Cardinal center fielder, trying to make it a 4-run lead. Full count. The hamstring is bad enough, according to Tony La Russa, that in certain cases he might think about a pinch runner. That hasn't happened so far in the postseason. All things considered, Pujols looked okay going first to third on that error by Verlander. Infield is in. Edmonds stays alive. This is where Verlander, who has struck out 8, needs number 9.
Pujols getting around the bases after the underthrow at first base, looking over his right shoulder and making it to third without a play, and then the grimace. But he was running better then.
Edmonds with a base hit into right field, and it's 5-1 St. Louis here in the 6th. That pitch was up from Verlander, and Edmonds jumped on it. He likes the ball up. A walk, an error, and a run on a base hit by Edmonds.
There you can see that ball about belt high and belted to right by Edmonds.
Edmonds has driven in 7 now this postseason. He had struck out in his 2 previous at-bats. Cardinals have their biggest lead, 5-1. Rolen goes hacking at the first pitch and fouls it, strike 1. Again, La Russa talking about an article that had been faxed to him by a friend, a USA Today article that had the Tigers being picked to win this World Series in 3 games. Rolen hits it in the air to right, tailing away from Ordonez. That ball is a fair ball, and it is a double as it bounces out of play. Edmonds will have to hold at third, and the Cardinals have a chance to blow this thing wide open.
And that's going to be all for Justin Verlander. That ball up again. Rolen has hit a home run up, and now a double down the right field line that has been up, and that's good news for the Cardinals.
The other part of that article that La Russa quoted was, as long as the Tigers could keep from laughing in this matchup. They're not laughing now, down 5-1 with second and third, nobody out. Everybody ready for this tournament? Second and third, nobody out. St. Louis up 5-1 here in the 6th inning. And there are the numbers for the regular season for Jason Grilli. One of the long relievers for Jim Leyland. Infield is in. Encarnacion is jammed, and he fouls it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jason Grilli glad that the Detroit Tigers did not retire the number 49, because that's the number worn by his father in 75, 1976, and 1977 for part of the year. So here Jason Grilli wearing number 49 some 30 years after his dad did. The old ballpark, Tiger Stadium, which is still standing, but not housing the Tigers, of course.
It will be raised next summer. A 1-1 pitch. High fastball by the bat of Encarnacion. Strike 2.
Good fastball out of the strike zone from Grilli.
Encarnacion has not had a good postseason. 8 of 37 with 5 strikeouts, 4 RBIs, no home runs. Moved down in the order to the number 6 spot. By La Russa. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Remember, in Game 7 of the NLCS, La Russa moved Molina up 1 spot to the 7th position, and he hit the game-winning home run in the 9th inning. Molina's back in the number 8 spot tonight in Game 1 of the World Series, but Rolen moved up to the number 5 spot. Rolen has homered and doubled. The 2-2 pitch to the third baseman. Inge has it come up on him. Throw home wild. In to score is Edmonds, and they're going to say that Rolen was obstructed by Inge. I believe Rolen ran into Inge. The third base umpire was pointing, and Jim Leyland's going to go get an explanation from Mike Winters.
I tell you, it's unusual to send the runner with second and third going on contact with nobody out. Inge the ball off of Inge. Now he wanders in the third base area, and that's where Scott Rolen became involved. And home plate umpire called it immediately. Randy Marsh said Rolen is allowed home plate because Inge interfered with Scott rounding third. So Edmonds scores on the bad throw by Inge. And now Rolen runs into Inge. A very eventful play by Brandon Inge. Rodriguez made the tag, but Rolen awarded home plate.
And remember, every time that Rolen hits the ground, as he does there, the interference by the third baseman Inge, the Cardinals wonder about that left shoulder. He went down hard, popped right back up, was awarded home plate. It's a 7-1 game. Still nobody out. And Encarnacion, who hit that chopper to third, is at second.
With 1 out, you always send the runner, and Tony La Russa taking a chance with nobody out. Rolen runs into Inge. So actually Rolen hitting Inge with his shoulder and then the ground with his shoulder, and Pujols calling the interference. An accurate call by the home plate umpire Randy Marsh.
Now Belliard chops it back to Grilli. Encarnacion holds it second, 1 out. Third base umpire Mike Winters also was on top of it, pointing at the play the entire way after the interference, and when Rolen went down and popped back up, he was awarding the Cardinals the 7th run of the night.
Here it is one more time. It's a bad hop to Inge coming up right there. He still comes home, throws it toward the first base side, and in the background you could see Rolen running into Inge. Interference is called, and the Cardinals score another one.
Now Yadier Molina with Encarnacion at second and 1 out. Molina takes a strike. Runner at second with 1 out. The 0-1. Molina takes low. All 7 runs are charged to Verlander in 5+ innings, 6 hits. 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, 2 home runs allowed. Because the Cardinals beat the Mets, Verlander got the game 1 start, and it did not work for the Tigers. Throw back to second, and Encarnacion, who started his career with the Tigers, back ahead of the tag by Polanco. Meanwhile, the other side, the guy who certainly wasn't the pitcher top billed in this matchup is Anthony Reyes, and what he's done through 5 innings. He's not allowed a hit since the first. Retired 13 straight. Now really is bothered by Encarnacion out at second base. They must know something about Encarnacion that the Cardinals don't. Because when Encarnacion's been at first, Verlander threw over about 6 times. And now Grilly's thrown back to second. A 1-1. 2-1.
Also, the Albert Pujols throw to first base. That's what started the unraveling of this inning. Really no need for Verlander to go to first. But Pujols going to third, and this has been an inning in which the Cardinals have run the bases very aggressively to add to their lead.
2 balls and a strike on Molina. Cardinals leading by 6 in the 6th. And Molina flies one into center for Granderson. Out number 2. And the number 9 hitter, so Taguchi, will walk to the plate. Tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday returns with a doubleheader as the Carolina Panthers travel to Cincinnati to try and stop Carson Palmer and the Bengals. Then Clinton Portis and the Redskins battle Peyton Manning and the Colts or other regional action. It all begins tomorrow with America's #1 pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on Fox. 5-0 Colts, and the Redskins need a win badly. They will have their hands full. Brunell remains the quarterback for the Redskins. With 2 out, Taguchi pops it up. Right in front of home plate for Ivan Rodriguez, and Pudge puts it away, but the Cardinals come up with 3. And all Verlander can do is sit and watch with his arms folded. The Cardinals come up with 3 in the 6th and lead it by 6 here in Detroit.
Ergonomic desk chairs. I watched them.
1 St. Louis lead. Top of the order for the Tigers. Granderson, Monroe, Polanco. If anybody gets on, Maglio, Ordonez. And Anthony Reyes, who gave up the first run of the night, has been in shutdown mode ever since. He's retired 13 straight. And he and the Cardinals lead by 6. Fernando Rodney getting loose for the Tigers in their pen. 1-1 pitch. Granderson pops it up. Straight up on the infield, and Roland will try to find it and catch it. 1 out. The Chevy Silverado winning number is 44902-088. 44902-088. Get in the game at worldseries.com/Fox Sports for your chance to win the all-new 2007 Chevy Silverado tomorrow night. worldseries.com/Fox Sports. Can win a Chevy Silverado tomorrow night. Here is Monroe, and he takes low, ball 1.
Joe, you talked about the obstruction of Brandon Inge, the third baseman, and we'll read from the rule book what obstruction is. I said interference. I was wrong. It is obstruction.
Here's another pop-up. Off the bat of Monroe, and Pujols with the runner right there has it in foul ground, 2 out.
And to clarify this, obstruction is the act of a fielder who, while not in possession of the ball and not in the act of fielding the ball, impedes the progress of any runner. It's very, very clear as Inge wanders into foul territory that he obstructed with Scott Rowland. So there's a big difference. Obstruction primarily from the defender. So it's not interference, but obstruction.
Polanco with 2 out, nobody on, takes a strike.
Want to clear that up.
And so you know, on the play, the official scorer has ruled a fielder's choice, an RBI, and 2 errors on Inge. 0-2 on Polanco. 1 on the throw, 1 on the obstruction. So there were 3 errors in that inning. The other one belonging to Verlander on the wild throw to first. Anthony Reyes could not be turning in a better game. 2 out, nobody on, 0-2 pitch in the bottom of the 6th. Hit on 1 hop to Eckstein. Anthony Reyes has turned in a gem to this point. We go to the 7th inning of game 1. Cardinals up by 6. Back after this from your local Fox station.
Each year, 10,000 innocent people are...
St. Louis on top. They've out-hit the Tigers 6-2. And there is our former partner. It didn't last long enough as far as we're concerned. Luis Gonzalez on the right, his son Jacob on the left. And we didn't get a chance on the air 2 nights ago at the end of the NLCS to say goodbye the proper way to Luis Gonzalez, who was a great teammate. You can see why there is so much respect for him in the 2 clubhouses that we walked into with him by our side. Players love him. Very respected professional athlete. Here's Fernando Rodney, who takes over. He gets 2 quick strikes on Eckstein, who's 0 for 3.
Tough travel schedule for Gonzo, too. He went back to Arizona, his home, and then flew to Detroit this morning. And will go back to Arizona tomorrow and take the triplets to Disneyland.
Eckstein golfs one into shallow center, and Polanco and Santiago come together. It's Polanco with a play. Let's check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, as first reported by the New York Times, Major League Baseball and the Players Union are very close to a new labor agreement. The length of the deal, according to a source with knowledge of the talks, will be 5 years, the longest in baseball history. It will give the sport 16 consecutive years of labor peace. The deal is expected to be announced before the end of the World Series, nearly 2 months before the current agreement was set to expire. Guys?
All right, well, that is great news, and it's so different than what we're used to hearing. The last one came down extensions, trying to get something done at the very end. Right. Here's Chris Duncan. He takes a strike from Rodney, who throws very hard. And what they've done this time around, which was a stroke of genius, I can't believe they actually pulled it off, because there's so many leaks that are possibilities, but they've done all of this away from the public spotlight, and they've gotten all their work done off to the side. And now, according to the reports, and as we hear from Ken, they're going to pop up here before the end of the World Series and announce a new labor agreement between the Players Association and management, which is great news. 1-1 pitch is a strike on Duncan. It's 1-2. Taking a lot of the public pressures out of it and a lot of the ego out of it. They can just hammer out a deal, which they are completing, I guess, as we speak. Here is Duncan, who's 1 for 3, an RBI double and a run scored. 1 out in the 7th inning. Duncan got a good rip. Still 1-2. The Tigers in the bottom of the 7th will have Ordonez, Guillen, and Rodriguez. Alfredo Ledesma getting loose, and a good pitch from Rodney gets Duncan 2 out. Tomorrow night, after a long day of football on Fox, it will be World Series game number 2, Cardinals and Tigers. We'll be on the air at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, and a matchup of the former Detroit Tiger against the current Kenny Rogers, and the 41-year-old has thrown 15 scoreless innings. In this postseason, he's 2-0.
And the reason Justin Verlander started tonight was so Jim Leyland could start Kenny Rogers in games 2 and 6 here in Detroit, of course, if it goes that far.
Rodney deals a strike to Albert Pujols. Weaver came up with the Tiger organization, and Todd Jones was quoted in the paper today. Todd is the closer for Detroit, saying there's no love lost between a lot of his teammates and Jeff Weaver, who will get the ball tomorrow night, and he has been outstanding this postseason for the Cardinals. Big reason why they are in the World Series, for his 1 start against the Padres and 2 very good ones against the Mets in the NLCS.
Todd Jones saying that Jeff Weaver has grown up a lot since those days, And Todd saying, so have I.
Here's a 1-1. Pujols slashes it foul, strike 2. Pujols spitting his gum out of his mouth and trying to hit it on its way down to the ground with his bat.
You know who used to do that? Billy Williams of the Chicago Cubs. And he never missed the gum. Ever.
Hall of Famer, Billy Williams. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a line drive into center field, well hit. Granderson back to grab it. A 1-2-3 first inning of work for Fernando Rodney. It's time to stretch here in Detroit. Cardinals leading by 6, and right now we rejoin public address announcer Bob Vergils.
The city of
7th inning, Maglio Ordonez first up. And he takes a strike from Anthony Reyes. Ordonez, Guillen, and Ivan Rodriguez. Ordonez is 0 for 1 with a walk. Trying to get something, anything started for Detroit against Reyes, who has not surrendered, not just a hit, but the Tigers have not had a base runner since the first inning. A little flare out behind first, and Pujols makes a circus catch, pirouetting out into shallow right field, and that hamstring at all, he was there to stab it.
Acrobatically, Pujols going back, turning the wrong way, and then continuing that carousel to make the play. You talk about an adjustment. We talk about it all the time, how pitchers have to make adjustments, how hitters have to make adjustments. Anthony Reyes and Yadier Molina have made the adjustment from the first inning through the next 6 1/3. They have just been terrific, going more with the fastball, the breaking ball, and just ditching that straight change for the most part.
Josh Kenny and Tyler Johnson getting loose. I think you could spend an inning talking about these two pitching coaches. For Detroit, Chuck Hernandez spent 9 years with Tampa Bay. Here's a ground ball to the right side, and Belliard can't get to it. And the Tigers have their first base runner since the first. The Tigers were #1 in baseball in team ERA for the first time in franchise history. As Belliard got a glove on it, couldn't make the play. And the Cardinals, down the stretch and within this postseason, Tim, have reinvented their bullpen, and the starting pitching they've received, now with Reyes also on the list, has come out of nowhere.
Chris Carpenter, Jeff Suppan, and Jeff Weaver, 10 of the 11 starts coming into this game. And now Anthony Reyes, with this start tonight's got to make Dave Duncan very, very happy.
1 on, 1 out. Ivan Rodriguez at the plate. He has lined out twice. Once to second, once to right. So he's gone the other way in each of his 2 at-bats, and he takes a strike. It's Dave Duncan, the Cardinal pitching coach. Fly ball into left field. Taguchi back at the track, at the wall for out number 2. Rodriguez just missed that pitch and hit it as far as he could without hitting it out. 2 out.
Here's the adjustment we were talking about in the first inning. The double by Monroe and then the single by Guillen, both on changeups. And then Molina and Reyes going back to the fastball. To hold the Tigers scoreless here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. The only base runner, Carlos Guillen, at first right now.
Casey is at the plate 0 for 2. He has struck out, fly to center. And he is fooled on that pitch down and in from Reyes, a rare breaking ball from the Cardinal right-hander. We saw only that one out pitch changeup, which was to Brandon Inge for the strikeout in the 5th. Been heavier with a fastball. than it was at the start, or it was in his start against the Mets in Game 4. 1 ball, 1 strike on Casey.
Well, we talked about Reyes and what a developing pitcher he is, and a developing story tonight is once again how he has changed from the first inning on.
All these Tiger fans want a reason to cheer here in the 7th. Casey pops it up. Belliard waits for it. And the inning comes to a close. We have played 7 innings here in Game 1. Anthony Reyes is dealing, and the Cardinals lead 7-1.
Shall we raise our
strike from the new hurler, 4th of the night, Wilfredo Ledesma, who is, as Jim Leland put it before the game, a work in progress, but a guy who has got a sensational arm. Dealing with Edmonds, he misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Edmonds, then Roland, then Encarnacion for the Cardinals, who lead by 6. Eighth inning, and the crowd has been taken out of it. The pitching of Anthony Reyes. Edmonds couldn't lay off, and it's 1-2. World Series has not been here since 1984 when the Tigers beat the Padres. Edmonds out of the way of that pitch, up and in, 2-2. Just got a piece of it.
Detroit Tigers facing the New York Yankees in New York. They lost Game 1 of the division series. Since that time, they have won 7 in a row. They were underdogs to the Yankees, heavy underdogs. They were underdogs to the Athletics, but favorites here against the Cardinals.
That misses outside. Full count on Edmonds. So the last World Championship for Detroit, 1984 for the Cardinals. It's been even longer, 1982. They've lost 3 straight World Series since, in 85, 87, and 2004. There's Edmonds with another hit, and again on a pitch that was up. An RBI single his last time up. Later a run scored, and now a leadoff hit here in the 8th. Monday night on Fox, Prison Break returns all new at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, followed by the thrilling new drama Justice on its new night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. It all starts Monday night on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. Leadoff man is on, and Roland, who's had a big night. A homer to tie it in the 2nd. A double to help the 6th inning his last time up. Ball 1 up and in. So with this long layoff, 6 full days of rest, Jim Leland has taken this opportunity to get some guys out of his bullpen back into game action. It's been an even longer layoff for his DH tonight, Sean Casey. There's a strike. Casey has struggled. He struck out, fly to center, and popped up.
Talking to Tony La Russa about the public dispute between him and Scott Rowland. If not a dispute, certainly a disagreement. And Tony's saying, look, it's soap opera stuff. Enough already. And it gets you to thinking that it's, as Zach Miner is warming, that it's pure folly for anybody to think that managers' decisions concerning players are always agreed with by the player. I mean, it affects the players. That's why most players don't agree with managers' decisions.
Roland pops it up on the infield for the shortstop, Santiago, 1 on, 1 out.
So if Tony La Russa doesn't play Scott Rowland in a game during the National League Championship Series, and Rowland gets upset, he he's going to get upset. Other players get upset also.
Then La Russa followed it up by saying, look, it's not like I'm not rooting for him.
Yeah, right.
I'm his biggest fan. I want him to go out and have a big game here in game 1, and he has.
Home run and a double.
Put him in that number 5 spot behind Edmonds. Edmonds has had 2 hits. Rolen has 2 hits. There's Encarnacion, who has an RBI, but is hitless 0 for 2 with a walk.
Managing a lot tougher nowadays because it has to be explained to the players, to the press. Whereas 30 or 35 years ago, a manager's decision would be told to the player. He said, the reason I made it is I'm the manager. And that was it. Nobody talked back. Nobody went to the press. But now it's different. And in many, many ways, much more difficult to manage in the major leagues today.
Encarnacion is trying to find his swing. Chops one to third for Inge. Throw to second for the out. 2 away. Tony La Russa had this to say with Belliard walking in about playing injured players.
You really want to balance the gamers that want to go out there. Soreness is part of it. Hurt is not. So what you really need to do is you need guys to be forthright and help you with the decision. You know, and as a manager or as a coach, you want to know that they're 75%. Then you make a judgment if their 75% is better than somebody off the bench.
Little fly ball into right field, and that is well put by Tony La Russa, who is dealing with that day after day, especially down the stretch for the Cardinals. Bottom of the 8th inning. Tigers coming up, down by 6. Yadier Molina first up for the Cardinals' 9th inning. His biggest contribution tonight has been receiving Anthony Reyes. He does have a hit. But the rookie right-hander Reyes will go back out to work, you would imagine. In the bottom of this 9th inning, he has been dominant since the 1st inning. Nafi Perez is in the game at short. Todd Jones is the new pitcher for the Tigers. And the closer for Detroit is up on the count 0-2.
Todd Jones was very, very funny when he was talking about Joel Zamaya and others in the bullpen.
Brandon Inge retires Molina.
Zamaya and the left-hander Jamie Walker warming for Detroit. But Todd saying by the time they get to me, hitters are happy. They've seen Zamaya and the likes of the other bullpenners for Detroit. Of course, that's self-deprecating humor and not true, because Todd Jones had a terrific year in his return to the Tigers.
The franchise leader in saves, as you look at Anthony Reyes, who just turned 25 and is a rookie. That is off the leg of Todd Jones and will be a base hit. So Taguchi has his first hit, now 1 out of 4 tonight. This more to see moment presented by Sharp Aquos Liquid Crystal Television. The opposite field home run by Albert Pujols back in the 3rd inning. First base open. Runner at second, 2 out. The first pitch from Verlander was too good. It ran back over the outside part of the plate. Jim Leyland, we heard earlier in the game, taking the blame for it instead of just putting him on, and Pujols hit the 2-run shot to make it 4-1. It's now 7-1, and the hitless David Eckstein takes a strike from Todd Jones. Started to say Jones is the franchise leader in saves, and you know, he can laugh about his stuff. He only had 28 strikeouts during the year, but it is unique to find a guy who does not
melt in pressure situations and has no problem getting the final 3 outs. Nafi Perez makes the play, safe at first. Great effort by Nafi Perez, 2 out. And almost an unbelievable double play.
It's amazing how the baseball has a way of finding you when you come in for defense in the late innings. Nafi Perez, what a terrific play. Not only with the catch, but the little shovel backhand, and then Polanco barehanding the ball, and his throw to first base not in time.
So the guy who specializes, might have been out, the guy who specializes in getting those final 3 outs gets 2 here in the 9th inning. Will be lifted for another reliever. Walker with Duncan coming up.
So we had this sudden panic. We've got investments all over. You name it, we've invested in it. What does it all add up to? I mean...
Will get his first series at bat. Walker, the lefty, on at first is Eckstein, and Preston Wilson tried to hold up, couldn't. Strike 1. 263 average, 17 home runs during the regular season, with his season split between the Astros and the Cardinals. Cut loose by Houston, picked up by their rival, St. Louis Cardinals. That squirts away, and down to second base is Eckstein on a wild pitch.
Jamie Walker throwing the changeup in the dirt. Rodriguez tries to block it, but it goes off to the side. What catchers try to do in that situation is to keep the ball out in front. That usually stops the runner. But when the runner sees it go to the left or right, that's when they take the extra base.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Wilson fooled again. 1-2. Preston ready to swing, but the ball wasn't there yet. In the bottom of this 9th inning, it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Monroe, Polanco, and Ordonez. A 1-2. Missing off the inside corner. Pujols on deck. He has one important hit tonight. Preston Wilson trying to add to a 6-run St. Louis lead. It's foul. There is nobody getting loose for the Cardinals in their bullpen. It is quiet.
Also, no one warming up for Detroit, and the reason for that is if Wilson gets on, they'll probably walk Pujols. Or if Wilson drives in a run with Edmonds in the hole.
That is down and in. Wilson checked his swing. And it's a full count with Pujols next.
I might reconsider that, because if Wilson walks, they're not going to walk Pujols, but he'll be facing the left-hander, Walker.
Wilson strikes out, and that ends the inning. We go into the bottom of the 9th. For the Tigers, as they trail by 6, Monroe, Polanco, and Ordonez. 7-1 St. Louis in Game 1.
Man, this thing is smunchy. Smunchy? Soft.
For the 9th inning, Game 1 of the World Series, and consider what's happened here tonight. Most people believe that Reyes was in the category of the sacrificial lamb here, somebody to go out and just occupy the start because the NLCS went 7 games and Suppan was not available. Well, Anthony Reyes, with Braden Looper getting loose behind him, Anthony Reyes has turned in 8 innings, allowing 1 run on 3 hits. Cardinals trying to take Game 1 here in Detroit against a team that had won 7 straight this postseason, with a guy who had fizzled down the stretch and was so-so, and that is a bomb into left field off the bat of Monroe to make it a 7-2 game. We'll see if that's the last pitch of the night for Anthony Reyes. Off go the fountains in center field, and it's a 5-run St. Louis lead. will be all for Anthony Reyes, who does not get the complete game tonight. It's up to the Cardinal bullpen now to try to hang on to what is a 7-2 lead as Monroe hits his 4th home run of this postseason. Anthony Reyes will exit. What a job tonight by the Cardinal rookie right-hander. 7-2 St. Louis.
In order to decide who really should have graced the cover of NBA 07, the Life volume.
He's in game 1 of a World Series. Babe Adams for the Pirates, Don Newcomb and Joe Black for the Dodgers in 49 and 52. 93 pitches. That should say 8+ innings. 2 runs on 4 hits. Reyes did not get an out here in the 9th inning. That means that Braden Looper has to get 3 outs. And there's more activity for the Cardinals in their bullpen as Polanco, the MVP of the ALCS, takes a strike. Tyler Johnson, the left-hander, cranking it up. Polanco tonight 0 for 3. To the right side for Belliard. 1 away. After Anthony Reyes got into the dugout, Pop Warner, one of the minor league managers, came over to congratulate him, and then Jeff Suppan. Gary Bennett, the backup catcher, had words for him. Suppan was the MVP of the National League Championship Series, and Reyes ought to be one extremely proud young right-hander.
Well, I should say so. What a job.
Breaking ball fouled off the end of the bat by Ordonez, strike 1.
Following Reyes, Jeff Weaver tomorrow, and then the travel day scheduled for Monday. And then Chris Carpenter goes for the Cardinals, followed by Jeff Suppan.
This has a much different look to this World Series if this score holds and the Cardinals take game 1 behind Anthony Reyes, which nobody expected. In your MasterCard keys to the game, you talked about the Cardinals obviously wanting to win 2 here in Detroit, but hoping to win 1 before this series goes to St. Louis, and they're 2 outs away from that.
And the key for the game as far as Detroit was concerned is and was, will the layoff hurt them? And I know people are going to say that. That's what Jim Leland was saying before the game. He said if we lose tonight, or if we don't score a lot of runs or look good against Reyes, it'll be written tomorrow and be talked about on all the call-in shows that the layoff hurt us. He said if we win, everybody will say we were well rested.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Looper dealing with Ordonez. Ball 2. If the Cardinals win this game, Tony La Russa will snap a personal 8-game losing streak in World Series play. The sweep with the Cardinals in 04 by the Red Sox, and the sweep we talked about earlier back in 1990 by the Reds over his A's. Now the count's full, 3-2.
That year, 1990, was a year later after the Oakland Athletics had swept the San Francisco Giants in the Earthquake World Series in 1989. So Tony's been on all sides of sweeps in World Series play.
Ordonez trying to get on and start something here in the 9th inning. Craig Monroe hit a towering home run to make it 7-2 here in the 9th, and now a strikeout of Ordonez, 2 away.
Beauty of a 5-run lead is you could throw a predictable pitch, a fastball, blown by Ordonez.
So now 2 out, nobody on. And the Cardinals are hoping for 1 more out to break a team 8-game road losing streak during the World Series. Looper, who has a ring from his days with the Marlins back in 2003. Trying to get the final out and missing with ball 1 up and into Carlos Guillen. 7-2 here in the 9th inning with 2 out and nobody on. Ian has an RBI tonight with a single back in the 1st inning. Cardinals went down in order in their half of the 1st. The Tigers came up with a run. Had 2nd and 3rd 2 out, and Ivan Rodriguez hit a soft line drive caught by Belliard at 2nd. Cardinals tied it on the solo home run by Roland in the 2nd. And got 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 6th. Loopers 1-1, 2-1. Ian 2 out of 3 tonight. That was against Reyes. Now a 2-2 count. Verlander and Reyes, the starters tonight. Tomorrow night, Weaver and Kenny Rogers. Rogers 2-0 this postseason, 15 scoreless innings. 1 start against the Yankees, 1 start against the A's, and Weaver, a record of 5-4 during the regular season for the Cardinals, but very good in the postseason against the Padres and then the Mets. A 2-2, full count. These two teams played an interleague series here in Detroit in June, and the Tigers swept. A 3-game set, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of June. Verlander got that sweep started with a win, beating Carpenter. A bobble, and Roland throws late. That'll be his 3rd error of this postseason.
That ball hit by a left-handed batter, squirts on a 3rd baseman going toward the line, and Scott could not center that ball and makes, as Joe said, his 3rd error of the postseason.
Tigers made 3 errors back in that 3-run 6th inning that the Cardinals put up. 1 by Verlander and then 2 on the same play by Inge, the 3rd baseman. Here's Rodriguez. Pudge takes a strike. This guy is a natural-born leader, Ivan Rodriguez, for the work he does behind the plate in the clubhouse. Jim Leland has a great room full of guys in Tiger uniforms. Now strike 2.
Talk about a natural-born leader. He's a natural-born Hall of Famer, too. The talent, the mental prowess.
Ball 1.
Think of all the years that Ivan Rodriguez has been behind the plate. 310 of those years, 10 of 11.
Flied into right, Encarnacion to his left, in the corner. He's out of room. I don't know if you caught that fact that we threw up there. The last World Series win in a game for the National League came back in 2003, the clinching Game 6 at Yankee Stadium by the Marlins. That was in 03. Then in 04, the Red Sox swept. And last year, it was the White Sox sweeping Houston. Rodriguez hops out of it. Looper has the one he wants and is 1-2. Fly it into center field, and that will end game one as Edmonds puts it away. And the Cardinals come in here behind their rookie Anthony Reyes and shock this big crowd and take game one, a final of 7-2. 2 hours, 54-minute game, and Anthony Reyes and Braden Looper hold the Detroit Tigers down to 4 hits.
We said it earlier and during the game that Anthony Reyes went to the stretch in his only other start because the New York Mets could have been reading his pitches. Well, not too many Tigers read his pitches tonight. Superb.
The clock reads 11 o'clock straight up in the East, and our Chevrolet player of the game is the right-hander Anthony Reyes. He did give his best tonight. The Cardinals depended on Reyes tonight. You can log on to worldseries.com/Fox Sports and vote for your most dependable player of the postseason and a chance to win Chevy's most dependable truck, the all-new Silverado. So the Cardinals have taken game one, and now it'll be a matchup of Jeff Weaver and Kenny Rogers, who has pitched shutout baseball so far this postseason. He'll start tomorrow night for Detroit. Tigers starters came into tonight's game posting a 5-1 record during this postseason with a 3.33 ERA. And now Anthony Reyes adds his name to the list of good starting pitching with Suppan, Carpenter, and Weaver. Let's go down to Chris Myers.
All right, Joe, as the rain starts to fall with Albert Pujols, the big home run, of course, how important to take game one here in Detroit for you guys?
Well, it's always big, to get a win in a row. But, this is just one win. We need to come up tomorrow and just hopefully start the way we did it, scoring right away, answering back. Scotty hit that big home run to answer back after they take the lead in the first inning. But, Anthony Derrea, this is the guy that you need to give all the credits, he stayed out there, and he's probably the game of his life. He was so nervous, but he did a great job for us, just giving up 2 runs.
I think people expect you to be big at this time of year, but they didn't know much about him. Just talk about the approach for this Cardinal team, being underdogs all the way, and again, underdogs in this series, but you came through tonight.
Well, nobody's expected, like I said, nobody's expected to be here. So, we're just going to go out there, have fun, and play the game the way we know how to play. We know what kind of talent we got in the clubhouse. We know what kind of guys that we have, and I think we can compete with anybody out there, and that Tiger team, they have a great team out there, and they were going to come and ready to play. So the last thing we wanted to do is just show up and embarrass ourselves. So, but we did the little things, we got the 2 outs hits, and and right away we took Belanda out of the way, and that was our plan.
All right, good luck tomorrow night against Kenny Rogers.
Thank you, sir.
Right, Albert Pujols, over to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Chris. We're here with Anthony Reyes. Anthony, the game of your life tonight. How did you do it?
I just tried to throw strikes and not try to do anything too much. Just try and focus on the glove and, let them get themselves out.
They got 2 hits off breaking balls in the first inning. Did you go back to the fastball after that?
I pretty much...
Really important for Jeff Weaver tonight to really command the pace of this game.
If it gets really bad, you can cuddle up with Mr. Kennedy.